It's 6:19 a.m. in the Caribbean Sea, 140 miles north of Venezuela, the USS Gerald R. Ford was slicing through calm water when two fast-moving dots appeared on the horizon, cutting toward the formation like knives in sunlight. These weren't joyriders, they were moving hard and closing fast. On the flight deck, sailors froze mid-routine as distant engines cracked the morning quiet. Heat shimmered across the sea just before two Venezuelan K-8 attack jets burst out of the haze, barely 2,000 feet above the water. No radio call, no warning, just aggression. They banked over the carrier's bow, a buzz pass meant to intimidate. But intimidation only works when the target reacts. The Ford didn't. From the bridge, the CO watched through binoculars, unshaken. "Maintain course," he said. The lead jet climbed sharply, afterburners glowing, smoke catching dawn light like fire. The second followed, wings rocking a reckless stunt far too low and far too close to a 100,000-ton carrier whose radar could track a tennis ball 40 miles away. In the Combat Information Center, controllers already had the whole thing on FLIR. Infrared told the truth. Empty hardpoints. No weapons. This wasn't an attack. It was theater. A dare. And at sea, dares can turn deadly fast. One wrong move and you're not buzzing a carrier, you're provoking a superpower. At 0621, both jets turned back toward Venezuela. It looked over. It wasn't. 2 minutes later, the radar picture changed. What started as a flyby was about to become an incident. Inside the Combat Direction Center, lights were low and tension thick. Radar scopes glowed pale green. Everyone knew the 2 K-8s, but now a new return appeared. "Combat, we've got another radar hit. New vector, bearing 217. High speed, climbing. Another pair. 4 total, heading straight for the strike group. Confirm IFF. Negative IFF. No response to hails." The room went silent except for the hum of consoles, but no one panicked. They'd trained for this. Above deck, Air Wing 8 jumped into motion. 2F, A, 18E. Super Hornets were prepped for launch. Yellow shirts waved them into position. Catapult crews crouched. Hornet 1. Wings spread. Trim set. Thumbs up. The shooter dropped his hand, and a burst of noise and metal rocketed off the bow. The Ford's tower tracked them, climbing and banking, left toward the radar contacts. Their mission: intercept, identify, and de-escalate. Down below, the operations officer watched the range close. "Bridge, combat. Recommend tightening escort screen. Bring Mason and Hudner forward." "Approved. Maintain speed and heading." The Ford didn't flinch or turn. To outsiders, it looked provocative. To the Navy, it was posture, the silent message carriers have broadcast for decades. We don't move for noise. By 0626, the Hornets punched through 15,000 feet, and what they were about to see proved this was no accident. Sunlight hit the jets like fire on steel as they sped east. Viper 1 scanned his radar, 4 tight returns climbing fast. "Control, Viper 1. Confirm bandits. 4 contacts, bearing 217. Angels, 16. Copy Viper 1. Positive ID, Venezuelan K-8Ws. ROE is defensive only." "Roger. We'll keep it clean." Far below, the Ford looked like a tiny dot flanked by destroyers in a perfect diamond. Her SPY-3 radar painted the sky, feeding every metric straight to the Hornets. At 0628, the 2 lead, K-8s, sliced through a thin cloud layer. "Venezuelan aircraft. Identify now. You are approaching a U.S. carrier group in international airspace." Viper 1 called. Static. Then a sharp accent. "U.S. aircraft. You are violating Bolivarian territory. Turn away now." The K-8s cut across the Hornets' noses at just under 400 knots. One passed so close that Viper 1's helmet flashed a proximity alert. "Watch your spacing," his wingman warned. Viper tightened his grip. "Relax. We're not here to dance, just watch the show." On the Ford, Every radar tracked it live flight paths, crossing within seconds of collision. Bridge, combat, Venezuelan aircraft executing unsafe maneuvers. Copy. Maintain calm posture, no course change. One thing was now undeniable. This wasn't confusion. It was bait. At 17,000 feet, the two Super Hornets shadow the Venezuelan formation like wolves trailing a reckless pack. The sky is bright, but heavy. Thin clouds sliding under them, the Caribbean stretching endless and blue. On Viper 1's FLIR, the K-8Ws creep tighter together, no missiles, but their empty hardpoints flash in the sun. Pure intimidation. Control, they're crossing our flight path again. Distance 800 meters. Copy. Maintain shadow posture. Record everything. High above, the Ford's E-2D Hawkeye feeds radar straight into the Hornets' helmets. Every shift is logged. Below, the carrier crew watches the data unfold like a live chess match. Then one Venezuelan jet snaps left, breaking formation a fast, low, aggressive cut straight across Viper 2's nose. The American stays cool. Ford control, contact just executed a proximity pass, range 200 meters. In the Ford's Combat Direction Center, SPY-3 radar sweeps track every angle in crisp digital precision. On the big board, the distance drops to 6 miles. Bridge, combat recommends alerting CIWS to standby. Affirmative. Do not engage. The K-8Ws bank again, flying tighter and lower. One more pass and the margin for error vanishes. Someone is about to make a bad mistake. 063, 2 hours. Inside the Ford's Combat Information Center, every console glows with calm precision. 4 red icons weave across the radar over the blue outline of the strike group. Contacts now within 12 miles. Speed high, subsonic. Copy. CIWS warm standby. Sea-Whiz manual. Above deck, sailors scan the sky, feeling tension through the steel. The Ford holds 20 knots, north-northwest. Destroyers Thomas Hudner and Mason tighten the screen, jamming enemy sensors. On the flight deck, crews move efficiently, hoses snapping, catapult teams ready. Calm pervades, making it eerie. Inside CIC, a voice breaks the silence. Bridge. Combat contacts 8 miles, closing. The captain steps forward. Maintain heading. Don't alter speed. Doctrine, not stubbornness. Outside, K-8Ws skim the waves. The lead jet rolls inverted, diving at the formation. The second follows. Contacts inside 5 miles, altitude falling. Below, CIWS locks on, standby only. In the sky, Viper 1 sees the pilot's visor flash, hands shaking. Ford control, coming in hot, range 1.2 miles. Copy, hold line, do not escalate. The jets scream past wake, smashing the water, under 600 feet. Unsafe maneuvering. Viper 2 snaps. Maintain discipline, the Ford replies. No Hornets react, just shadows behind the Venezuelans. CIWS spins silently. 10 seconds on the edge. Then the jets pull up, fading south. Silence. At 0637, radar shifts. 1 jet east, 1 circling. Contact 1 retreating. Contact 2 holding 9,000 feet. Every sensor locked. Recording heat, radio, flight paths. Hornets hold distance. Hostiles turning south. Speed dropping. No weapons. Shadow only. Don't pass 50 miles. Viper 1 watches them fade calm returns. Then a radar spike. Ford, we were painted. Copy. Log it. No response. Discipline. No flares. No turns. Minutes later, they vanish. The Ford stays steady. Venezuelan TV claims victory. Washington calls it unsafe. Truth lies between provocation and deterrence. Pentagon analysts replay every frame. Not an attack, just a show of force pushed too far. Gray zone encounters test limits. The Ford didn't flinch. Silence delivered the message, control. The Ford's deadliest weapon isn't tech, it's judgment. Calm flips to crisis in seconds. One bad call, One proud pilot, and disaster looms. The Venezuelans sent a message. The Ford answered with silence, the kind only real power can afford. Question: if you were in that cockpit, watching two jets dive toward your carrier, would you hold your line or take the first shot? Drop your answer in the comments.